Hello and welcome. This is Woody of Benchworms Basement Banter here. Hey, you guys are stuck with me again. This is the second part of Woody's favorite teams that have crashed and burn, retool, and rebuild series. Did the Cardinals a couple weeks ago and thought I'd have fun with my Chiefs now. Kind of different set of circumstances, but I'm kind of degenerative and messed up. I kind of like a good retool, rebuild, have some fun with it. I'm not saying this is the way the Chiefs will go, or even I would love it, but hey, this is some fun. We are Benchworms Basement Banter Sports Talk. We're on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all kinds of social media forms out there. So there you go, Stat Guy gave us the plug there. Um, we've had a little break in recording. The guys are out for work, traveling. Fed sickness, kiddos, trying to get better here myself. But this has been something I've been kind of working on for a couple weeks here. And like I said, I don't think there's any way the Chiefs would go this path. And I'm not even saying it would be the best course of action. I've always had fun with fantasy sports, everything kind of rebuild, retooling stuff. And I think it was kind of cool. The Chiefs are in a different set of circumstances than they have been for a long time. They're perennial Super Bowl contenders. It's been great, the Mahomes era. That being said, they're at the crossroads. And now, before I go much farther, do not crucify me, Chiefs fans. I love winning. I do. I love this team. I love even Kelsey. We'll get to that here in a minute. I'm just throwing this out there as a what if. What if instead of trying to go after it this year with Mahomes' injury changes it all for me. Mahomes is the Chiefs. He is the franchise. If he had not gotten hurt, there is no way this retooling idea would cross my mind. But it did. Major injury. He tore his ACL, LCL, all that at the very end of the season. I personally think it's crazy to expect him to be back week one. It's crazy, honestly, before midseason to expect it. And I personally don't want that because the worst thing in my mind that could happen, he comes back early, re-injured, out. It'd be catastrophic, another injury to it. As a Blues fan, I've seen that happen. Not an apples-to-apple comp, but with Robbie Fabry, he was never the same. Not saying that would happen here, but the way Mahomes plays quarterback positions, like what makes him great is the way his flexibility, his mobility, his throws off balance, impromptu. And it just really worries me, him not being just a straight pocket pass or coming back quick, something could happen. And he's a gamer. He's a competitor. I love to win, don't get me wrong. But just saying, I would rather have another healthy 9-10 years of Mahomes than a potentially compromised Mahomes with the chance of winning this next year. And that, you got to realize, the Chiefs, even with Mahomes fully healthy this last year, they weren't going to make the playoffs. Like, yeah, there was a lot of fluky stuff. They lost some close games they could have won. I thought they were still a very good team. That being said, him coming back week 4 or 5, it's not a given that, hey, we're in the Super Bowl. By no means is it. So, that being said, I'm going to lay this out here for you guys. Please don't crucify me. If you do, we had some fun with it. So, thanks for listening. Here we go. The Chiefs' current position, they are in what I would call cap hell. Okay. You see their payroll on the screen. I'll just make it $360 million. Roughly 54.5 over the cap. The worst in the league, but it's not as bad as it sounds, which is crazy. And they've actually already, as of today, they made it better. They restructured Mahomes' contract. I'll get to that, which, by the way, today, shout out to Team USA. Hell of an overtime win. That got me pumped to come record at midnight, have some fun. USA. There we go. Okay. So like I said earlier, here's what I'm going to throw out to you guys. Should they go for it? 2026, like there's talks about Kelsey coming back, bringing the cheetah back. Do that. Or we could pump the brakes, retool a little bit, and in 2027 come back with a perennial Super Bowl contender that also could keep this thing going. Like, you could reset the Mahomes era clock is what I'm going to say. The back nine of his career could be fully reloaded because we are at a big crossroads for not just him, but a lot of contracts here. So I'll get into this. We'll start it off easy with the cuts that anybody that has any idea about the Chiefs, the salary cap, a functioning brain, knows Juwan Taylor is basically a slam dunk cut, okay? It's not revolutionary stuff you're hearing here. $20 million though, off the books. If they cut him, I feel like that is going to happen. Foregone conclusion. So the others are a little more difficult. All these guys, I like them, like Mike Dana, very solid D lineman. That being said, he does not pressure the quarterback. He's very good against the run, I think, but for $8.9 million you could save by cutting him. To me, that's a move you have to make. Christian Fulton, they brought him in basically as depth this last year. If you cut him, that's $5 million save against the cap. I think it's $5 million dead money, but I think you can find in the draft very easy replacements for him. Save that money. Another one I've seen as a strong possibility is Drew Tranquil. Personally, I would hate that. I like him. Since they came over from LA, San Diego. I just like the way he plays. Seems like he's always, when you need to stop, he's there beside Bolton. That being said, $6 million is an attractive number to get off your books, and linebackers, I feel like, you can replenish that pretty easily through the draft, free agents, maybe find a better fit. So I could see it. I didn't include him in my numbers here because I kind of like the guy. So, but take him out. $33.9 million you have saved. So you are still $20.6 million over. Okay. That brings me to what has actually already happened. Just got the news today. I was almost on the money on this. I believe Mahomes' restructure actually came out to $43.6 million. It saves the Chiefs. Now, I still think it's a possibility that they might just rip up and redo the whole contract. What they've done, it's kind of kicking the can down the road. I can explain it. Like next year, his cap hit, I believe, looks to be 80-some million. You can do this with Mahomes because he's going to be here so long, such a long contract. The risk is kind of mitigated by that. Like with Chris Jones, another one you could restructure, but given his age, the term, it would be harder to move it like it would Mahomes. So that being said, this has already happened. 44 mils, what I had figured in. That's done. Some others. Let's keep going. Why not? Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith. What I researched and found, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or find better numbers, but you could combine, restructure both their deals, save around 10 mil. So just for rough figures, I threw that in. Big George, love the guy. He's another one's going to be here a while. Restructure him's 8 mil. All these guys together, you'd be around 62 mil in restructure money you've saved, okay? So that brings you to around 42 in cap space. Like, keep in mind, after those cuts, I said you're still in the hole. This gets you positive 42, which with that money, I mean, yeah, you could, like I said earlier, the cheetahs floated out there. You could go ahead and up McDuffie, walk him up long term. You could go after Breece Hall. Like, there's money you could play with. That being said, you're going to be up against it pretty soon, pretty quick. So that is great where they're at, and that may be the route they go. If they do think he's going to be back week 1, they want to run it back. Like Kelsey does come back, then sure. Now, if he comes back, it needs to be on a very team-friendly deal, which I think it would be. There's rumors out there, him going to New York, other stuff. I don't see it. But personally, for this exercise, I should have mentioned this on the slide with him. Bye-bye, buddy. Love your service. It's been great. It's been fun. Go jet around with T-Swift. Have some fun. Live life. Like, I've got him retiring for these intents and purposes. Like I said, if they decide to run it back this year, obviously, I think he will be back. We'll see. I'm good with it either way. Like, I think he could still play. I do. I still think, he doesn't have the wheels he had, but he's so smart with finding the soft spot in zones, coverage. He could do it again. Just have to have realistic expectations for him. So here's where I'm going to probably piss a lot of people off. I've got 3 big trades here to save a lot of money. And then just for the fun of it, I ran a mock draft and was kind of seeing what you could possibly get. And like I said, that one might differ on opinions too. Might think it's unrealistic, some of them I've got. I went off of some draft sites where these guys fell. So we'll see. A lot of it is like a dream scenario. But all right, the first trade is Chris Jones. Once again, this is nothing against the guy. It's been fun. Love the guy. What I'm looking at is his cap hit is $35 million. He's 32. This last year, he was not the force he has been. Now, that being said, he did not get a lot of help on the D-line. I'm not faulting the guy. I think he can still ball. But when you look at that money and you look at where this team's at, you can't not entertain the idea, okay? So I looked through the league, and first I saw the Lions. I was like, yeah, hell of a fit they needed. I landed on the Bears. Why? If you watch the playoffs, you saw what were they missing? A pass rush. Like this would be fit a huge void, and they have cap space. Perfect storm. Their window to win is here. They made amazing strides year one under Ben Johnson. They're here. They're ready. You add a veteran in, Chris Jones, been there, done that, been to the top of the mountain. That would help with the locker room. To me, this trade really is a good fit. Now, what could they get back for him? What I proposed here, I'm not for sure. I would be happy with this size of the Chiefs, and I've also got the Bears eating the contract to make Woody math simpler, okay? But I've got Chris Jones going to the Bears and us trading them a sixth-rounder this year because keep in mind they're trying to win right now. We're getting a second-rounder back this year, which is pick number 57, a fifth-rounder back from this year, which ended up being 163 they had, and also 2027 second-round pick. If the Chiefs could get this haul for him, I hate to see him go, but honestly, I could live with it. I really could. Here's the thing. I don't know if to get that kind of draft capital, they might have to eat some of the money. If they say 20 million of it, the Bears paid the rest of it, fine. You're still saving 15 towards the cap. Got a lot of space. But like I said, for these intents and purposes, I had them eating it all. If you guys have better input on it, sounds good. I'm kind of new on the NFL scheming, how this would work with the money and the picks. This is what I went with for now. Got them some cap space, got us draft picks, and I didn't get crazy, say, we get 2 first-rounders. Like, no. Realistically, I think this would be a great haul. So that was trade number 1, slightly controversial. Here comes the next 2. My boy Rashee Rice. Sorry, buddy. I know this sounds nuts. Okay, and I put grenade on here. This would be fun. This would be crazy. Why not? Let's trade Rice to the Bills, get Josh Allen his big weapon, win now, and I'll tell you what, guys, it's a loaded grenade. Catch it, run with it, see if it blows up on you. I love the guy's talent. His report with Mahomes is great, but this dude, you're just waiting every day for a news article to pop up and it'd be like, oh, guess what? He did now, and he's done. There's only 1 year left on his deal, too. This is very risky because, sure, he could go to Buffalo. He could thrive, could get Josh that alpha he needs to the top of the mountaintop. They could extend him. It could be a great deal. You also could make this trade, and he might not even play a full season for them because it's not just the off-field stuff. Like, if you look at it, he's actually had a fair amount of injuries, too. So, but why I thought the Bills, like I said earlier, they're missing the alpha wide receiver for Josh Allen. I think they're desperate too. The way they handled the whole Sean McDermott debacle and everything, like I think they need to go out, make a splash, get a stud wide receiver. Maybe they will in the draft the back of the first round, possibly. But this is big. I mean, I didn't understand the hire. When I thought they would just clean house, start over. I thought the GM would be gone too. No. Let's go ahead. Let's give him a promotion, promoting Brady as the head coach. Maybe it's because they didn't want to lose him. I'm not for sure. I have my doubts on how that's going to work. I think they're a volatile team, and I think they need to make a splash. This is a splash. Could the Chiefs get this much for him? I hope. I'm not for sure. The talent is there. You've seen it. It's a known commodity. What I've got is Rice going to the Bills, us getting a third-rounder this year, which is pick number 91, isn't bad. The second-rounder next year, I hope we could get that too. I'd probably be the back end of the second round, so that makes more realistic, and Keon Coleman. Why not? I mean, the way they handled him, piss poor is being too nice. Like that press conference, throwing him under the bus, he's not playing when they're down in Buffalo. And what did they do to his already diminished trade value? Blew it up. They're not going to get hardly anything for him after that. Like teams know he wants out. They telegraphed it. I mean, if you take a course on how not to have public relations, good job, Buffalo. That was it. I hate it because honestly, even as a Chiefs fan, I would love to see the Bills get a title. I love Josh Allen. They've suffered for so long, that fan base. That was horrible. So Keon Coleman is kind of a throw-in in this deal. I still think he's talented. Not much separation, but I mean, he's a big body receiver, good contested ball skills. Why not get him back too? Add to that core. So I honestly, Chiefs fan, I would like this trade. All three of these trades I'm proposing, like, you might call me crazy, but if you look at the value they're getting back, I think it's decent. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the last trade. And yes, I know, I'm totally throwing the season away. You're getting trading Trent McDuffie to the Rams for 2 first-round picks. Think about it, 2 first-rounders. Now you are giving up next year's 4th, but you're also getting a 6th this year, which I'll show you in my mock draft. That's another corner we're getting. Okay, you're like, why would you do this? He's a stud. Yes, he is, but he only has 1 year left on his deal. His cap hits $13.5 million this year. Yeah, it's not terrible, but what's he going to want going forward? Keep in mind, with the big Mahomes contract, you are kind of hamstrung. You've got a lot of money in your O-line, which I like that, protecting your best commodity. But yeah, there's only so much money you have to go around. What's he going to want? Is he going to want Sauce Gardner money? Maybe. Is he going to get it? I think he'll come a little shy of that. But still, if you're talking $25 million for a corner, I think he'll get over that, honestly. That's big money. That's a lot. That's a lot. And, if you don't, you could use this money on Brian Cook to bring back maybe. Also, Jalen Watson. Like, I that's what I've actually got later in the end of this is who you would be able to retain if you let him go. McDuffie's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ripping the guy. This last year, though, it was a down year. His numbers were down a bit, kind of slowed a little bit. Partially, I'd say they were on the field a little more. That might play into it. But also, you saw a little regression already. And I'm going to tell you what, like, if you couple getting rid of these 3 guys, like, if you add it up, you've only got them under control. Chris Jones, McDuffie, Rice for 4 years technically combined. If you trade all this for this kind of draft capital, the control you have, yes, you're going to need to hit on the draft. We'll get to that. But you could literally reopen this Mahomes era when he's back healthy, and it would be great. I think this is feasible. Why I picked the Rams is because, for one, they're win now. Last year, Stafford possibly. Corner, I thought, was their biggest area of need. Like, their 13th pick in the draft, I saw that Tennessee kid. Seen them attached to a corner, the first pick or the second pick. If you get McDuffie, like a known commodity, Les Snead's motto with what he thinks of them picks. This, to me, this just checks all the boxes. Like McDuffie to the Rams, it's almost like the Chris Jones fit. Like, it makes too much sense. So if you're still with me and you don't totally hate me, here we go. I gave myself Dumb and Dumber there. This is the recap screen, okay? You've traded Jones, Rice, McDuffie, 2026 6th, and a 27 4th, but look at the haul you get here. First this year and a second. I'm sorry, a first, second, a third this year, a 5th, and a 6th. You literally have 10 picks in this upcoming draft. And you've got the first round, you've got 7 in the first 4 rounds. That's amazing. I mean, that's hell of a retool. And to make it even better in 2027, you're almost in a better position. I ended up with 9 total picks in 2027, 6 in the first 3 rounds. So you can get creative with that. You can move up, which I have an idea on that. You can move up. You can do a lot with that. You could literally restock this cupboard and be set. So I know this sounded crazy at the onset, but if you see what you could have pick-wise and what you could do with it, and the Chiefs, I think, if you take out receivers missing on them, I think they have honestly historically drafted very well under Veach. I really do. So I trust them. Here's the fun part. 2026 mock draft. And as it gets closer to time, and my hypothetical trades on here probably don't happen, I'm going to redo this and have a short show on my revised mock draft. But for now, here's what you could be looking at. And I'm talking about, you talk about restocking the pond. Here you go, buddy. Okay, round 1, I really want them to get Reuben Bain Jr., edge rusher out of Miami. The kid, he's a monster. He would fit this scheme better than I think even David Bailey, who's been mocked to go ahead of him. They're the kind of the 1A, 1B DNs. I think he would fit the system better because he can play inside. He would be undersized inside, but he can play inside, outside. He's a little bull. He's more of a power rusher. Bailey's more speed. He fits well with Spags' system, though. I think just match made in heaven. Yes, there's a lot of hype around Jeremiah Love going here. Yes, I love the talent. I would not complain if they get him. I'm kind of at the mindset, though, with the pick this high, you've got to go to a premium position. And, we're set at quarterback. We're set at left tackle. I like Simmons, who we got in the draft. And if you look at edge, secondary, like, I don't know if you call receiver there yet, but this guy to me was the best value for the pick. If they would go Love here, it would change my free agency idea, but this is just, I would be running up to the stage to, nicely hand Goodell the card, not punch him in the face, but okay, so here's where it gets even more fun. I've got the pick 29 coming from the Rams. I picked Caden McDonald, a monster defensive tackle out of the Ohio State University. This guy, the only knock on him, pass, and I don't want to be a hypocrite because I talk pass rush, they're lacking. Not sure how that will translate, but he is a monster against the run game. You pair him with Bain and Big George. Your D-line is already rebuilt, formidable. This guy, like I said, he's a monster. It's the run game. That is very important. Having that extra pressure, I think, would help, too, with his pass rush skills. He's huge. I like strengthening the trenches. You've seen in the Super Bowls we've lost. The game is won in the trenches. Brings me to the next pick, which is our original one, round 2, pick 40, Jennings Dunker, who is a mauler. Tackle, Iowa University. He's huge. There are some questions. I would slot him in at right tackle, too. I believe in Simmons, their pick from last year out of Ohio State. Again, I put him at right tackle. There's questions if he will be able to transition and stay at tackle. He is very strong in the run game, outside zone schemes. I think he will stick at tackle. If not, worst case scenario, then he'd be a hell of a guard, and you would have, I think, the best interior line in the league with Humphrey, Smith, Dunker. This guy's a monster. Huge. I love that pick. Build my trenches strong. We'll figure out. I want to build inside out is where I'm at. So, round 2. So, the pick from the Bears for Chris Jones. We're going Chris Johnson, not CJ2K, not the running back. This is a stud corner out of San Diego State. This guy, he's a big body corner, long, lanky. I hope he falls to here. I do. I've seen him mocked as high as the end of the first, but most I've seen is mid-second, possibly third. If they get him right here, you're already, you just traded McDuffie. If you could sign Watson back, this kid, I think this kid could be a stud. If he didn't, say he was at a bigger university, San Diego State, I think he's first-round pick. I can better than the Duke corner. I like big-bodied corners quick. So I think he's a hell of a pick. Building that defense back strong for Spags. We'll go on to round 3. Pick number 74. Back to offense. Elijah Surratt, receiver out of Indy. He transferred with Mendoza this year to Indy. You talk about red zone threat. Big receiver. I think he's 6'3", 220, 30. Is great. I think he had 15 touchdowns this last year. He's a monster in the red zone. That's what we've been lacking with Mahomes the last couple of years. We've struggled. We've moved the ball great, struggled to punch it in. This would give him a great weapon. Championship pedigree, just won one. Love it. This is one I hope falls. To round 3 at number 91 is Eli Stowers, tight end out of Vandy. All I got to say is he helped make Diego Pavia, the stud, 5'9" quarterback out of Vandy. He helped make him a Heisman contender. There you go. This guy could be, I'm not going to say the next Kelsey, but he has the pass-catching skills to be a similar mold. He's not the best as an inline tight end, but receiving-wise, he's got a huge catch radius. If Kelsey would come back, this is another one that I wouldn't mind even taking him, say, the third round anyway. Work under him, learn under him. He's a hell of a weapon. This is really you've traded Rice. This is bringing some offense back. I like him. Here's where instead of going Jeremiah Love in round 4, I've got him getting Emmett Johnson, running back out of the University of Nebraska. He's a very solid back, very talented. I've seen on some draft rankings having him all the way up around the 3rd running back. I don't think he is a 3-down workhorse back. He's a solid pass catcher. He would be a perfect complement, I think, to somebody they could get in free agency. Round 4, this is where I'd rather take a running back later in the draft. I like that spot. Now, I'm a Texas fan, some as you know, so this is a bit of a homer pick. In round 5, pick 146, Michael Taffy, safety out of Texas. Does he wow you with athleticism? No, not off the chart skills there. Right here. He is a very, very smart ball player. It seemed like he was always there for Texas, knew where he was at. He just knew where to be, and he ball hawking abilities for a safety. I honestly really like this kid. Like I said, he's not the best athlete. He's a winner. Very solid player. All right. Here we go. The last 2 picks here, ones we got via trade. All right. Nadame Tucker, edge rusher out of Western Michigan. So I've got them taking in round 5, 163. That was the Bears pick. He actually, I believe, tied for the lead in sacks in college football this last year. Yes, it's against not the toughest competition there, but he's got some juice off the edge. This late in the draft, you take flyers. I've seen him go in this range, normally around the 150 spot. But hey, if he falls here, you bring him in with Bain, with Karlaftis, the kid they had out of Louisville last year, Anton. But they've got, excuse me, they have Galafi, I think's his name. I don't have my stat guy here, but anyway, he is Ashton Gelati, I think's his name. It's coming to me. Who's been more situational player. You've got a solid core. This league's all about rushing the passer. I think he would be a good fit there. Now, to round this draft out, that second pick from the Rams, I took Devin Marshall, corner out of North Carolina State. I don't know if he'll fall this far. I've seen him in the late 190s, 200 range. He really increased his stock towards the end of last year, had a heck of a year, has amazing takeaway instincts. I think he had 4 or 5 picks. Very, very good corner. He's said would be great value. Watson himself was around, I think it was 6, 7 pick. I mean, this kid, like he could be a diamond in the rough, a draft day steal. If he would be here at round 6, I would totally love it. All for it. And I think this draft, honestly, I've tried to be balanced, address both sides of the ball. I think this does it. It's literally a split, I think, for whether they get 6 and 4 defense to offense. But you hit areas of need. And if you couple this with free agency, I would feel very good about this team going forward in the future. All right, so got to do some recap on math here. After the restructures and the trades, your cap space, and even with Mahomes restructured today, your cap space, we're going to say around $90 million. Technically it's 90.5, but that's where I'm at. So, okay, what I did, I would love this. I went out in free agency and signed me some Breece Hall. He's a Missouri kid. Bring him home. I think he has been tarnished on the Jets. I even have him giving him, like, if they could get him on a 3 or 4 year deal, $10 million-ish a year, I would love it. He is one of the best pass catching backs in the NFL. To come to Kansas City, chance to go after a ring. And now, maybe not this next year, but, like I said, 3-4 year deal. So I'm not one to contradict myself. I still think the route is to preserve Mahomes and just build something for 27. But you'd be bringing him home. That's pretty fair market value. I like him over Ken Walker. I know Walker just won the Super Bowl. For one, I think he signs back with Seattle. But Hall is a more versatile back. And if you see what he did with such an inferior team, O-line, he was their offense this year. He was the second leading receiver to Garrett Wilson, which is kind of a joke because he missed like half the year. But you get him some help, and especially a quarterback like Mahomes. This O line, holy crap! I think Brees Hall could go nuclear. Like for fantasy football, that'd be a top pick for me. Would love it. I think it's possible. I really do. I think, Ken Walker, like I said, back to Seattle. I like Hall's all around game better than Walker anyway. The injury history is kind of a wash, but I just would love to see his potential unlocked. And this is not taking Jeremiah Love first round. Like I said, I would rather spend the money in free agency on a running back and that draft capital, get your edge rusher. That's where I'm at. And for some more rationale, too, what do edge rushers get? The best ones, I mean, look at even Chris Jones, D-line, like he's 30-some million. You see them Myles Garrett, around 40 million. Top running backs, what are they? 12, 13 million? Like you see where the money's at. What's more valuable from resource allocation? I'm going edge rusher. So, sign Hall. Alohi, Gilman, safety. He got traded from LA to Baltimore. He's solid hitting safety. He's solid all the way around. If you would lose Cook, which I hope you can bring him back if you make these trades, get some space. But if you do, then he would be very solid. Think about it. If you've Gilman, Cook, you bring in Taffy in the draft, very solid in the back. On the corner position, this is a little assumption on my part, but I'd love to bring old Snead back. Yes, technically he's not released yet. I would bet, I don't know, I'd about bet a nut that he is gone from Tennessee coming up. Like I'm pretty confident in that. There's been all kinds of off-field, on the field he's been hurt too, just no production there for the money. What if you bring him back to KC? Get the band back together. Give him a 2-year deal, low money, incentive laden, see what he can do. That could go a long way. He's not that old. I think he's 27. I'd like to see it. I threw another name out there, Kwity Paye of the Colts. This is another case of, I think, untapped potential and me wanting to add to the edge rusher position. He broke out, I think, at 13.5 sacks in 23, and then had injuries after that. And then this last year just didn't really put the numbers up. I think he could kind of be a overshadowed, like he was a former first-round pick, physical specimen. I think there's a lot of untapped potential there. You get him on a team where he's got extra help off the edge. I think this will go a long way towards rebuilding that D-line. I really do. I like the talent. I think you could get him around $10 million a year, maybe another one of those 3-year deals somewhere in there. Like I'm wanting to look past this next year and lock guys up that'll be there in 2027. Because with this draft picks, all the rookies bringing in, I want that big push there. So with this money you've saved too, I've penciled in bringing Watson and Cook back. Like I thought maybe if you combine the salaries, you're looking at around $25 million. Honestly, it'd be similar to those two players for McDuffie's one. And I chose quantity over quality, if you want to look at it that way. But I think they're both very, very solid players. So to wrap this up, if you're still with me, I mean, maybe you're laughing hysterically. That's fine. At least you're still here. 2027, like I said, they have 9 picks total, 6 in the first 3 rounds. Oh, man. We're talking about Mahomes back, fully ready to go. You got the O-line intact. I mean, think about it. You still got your interior together. Simmons on one end, Dunker on the other. You could really go after it now. Funny thing is, this receiver draft, I think, is amazing. And Jeremiah Smith, I mean, that's the top name. That's the stud. Yes, I would love to get him. I'm going to be realistic. I don't think it happens. I think he goes higher. But once again, you have all this draft capital. You could trade up. I do not. And the other thing is, I think there's going to be a lot of quarterback needy teams. And this is also 2027 should be an awesome year for quarterbacks. Like you got Arch coming out. You got Sayin. You got Sellers. I mean, you could go down the list. So you think in theory, these crap teams, like the first 3 or 4 picks could be on quarterbacks. You could move up. Or if you stink, like, I can deal with it. Maybe you can get Jeremiah Smith. If not, Cam Coleman just transferred to Texas. Same size, 6'3", 230, monster. I mean, that would be a very good secondary prize there. Ryan Williams, kid out of Bama. The talent's there. Now he's not as big. He's like 6 foot, $180, fast, speed. Oh my gosh, him and Worthy both running streaks all day. Whew. That would be a great. He could be an alpha too, and he could increase his stock this next year. Like I don't think you've seen the best out of him. Those are three good options. There's another kid out of Michigan State, Wright, I believe his name. Like the receiver class is deep. You have the capital. That could be fun. If you can address that, the one area I did think I didn't address really was linebacker. But other than that, like I said, you got the O-line. You get the stud receiver. You're going to have cap space too. Even with these contracts I gave out this last year, I figured you have around $50 million cap space. There's one guy I would love to get out of this offense. He's down in New Orleans. He deserves better, America. Chris Olave. Yes, there's rumors out there that the Saints may sign him, lock him up. If I was them, I would have already done it. What might keep them from that, what might keep his cost lower is all the hospital balls that Derek Carr thrown him and the concussions. I don't mean to make fun of that. It's a shame. But, he has a very checkered past with injuries, concussions. That might keep the price down. The talent will be worth it. Like, just imagine this. And this is dreaming. But Olave, which, once again, this is made possible by making these trades and clearing the cap space. You can't do that without that. Let's say Olave, Smith, maybe not realistic, but say Coleman, Olave. You brought in Keon Coleman. You've still got Worthy. You've got your tight end. You've got Breece Hall in the backfield. You've got, your offense is loaded in my mind. The O-line's intact. Defensively, look at the areas you've addressed. This is without going through filling out the 2027 picks you could use defensively. But you've rebuilt your D-line. Your secondary's solid. Thibodeaux of the Giants, that was another one that I had on there that I think, yeah, he was a first-round pick. Was he pick number 5 in that draft? But you've not really seen the potential hit there. If he doesn't go bonkers this year, could he be available in that, 20 million range, 15? I don't think they could get Olave in him, but depending on what your roster looks like, I guess my point is the money is there now. But I'm telling you, I'm dreaming right now of Olave and one of these receivers. Rashee Rice, who? I'm sorry. So, this I just kind of wanted to run through and show the possibility. Do I want to suck this next year? No. But if they could make a major haul, and I think each one of those 3 trades is feasible. I really do. And if you compile them and compile all these picks, I guess to me it was more attractive if you trade all 3, bring all these picks in, than if you just do 1 or 2. Because you know what, you got to look at this, guys. Like, yeah, sure, they can go after it this year, but hey, you might lose McDuffie for nothing. Chris Jones, you might have 1 year left and not be able to trade him. Not real attractive. Rice, there's a strong possibility you lose him for nothing. So, do you really want to put all your eggs in the basket this year? Or you've got Mahomes. You have something, in my opinion, not the best quarterback, top 3 in the league. You have something that almost no other team has. And he's still, what is he going to be, 30, I believe? You've still got, hell, if he's Tom Brady, another 12, 13 years. Like, you still got time with him, the back 9 of his career, to come back, reloaded, firing on all cylinders, and do something special. So, like I said, food for thought. Thank you if you've stayed here the whole time for watching, listening. Please like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And if you enjoyed it, or if you enjoy laughing at me, you know what? Let us know about it. Comment. And thank you. Stay classy, America. See ya.